Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told how to voice the radio. So today, it's time to look at a lovely set of Japanese promo cards. Some of these we've seen before. Some of these are brand new. Some of them are good. Some of them are interesting. Some of them are really weird, but I think they are very much worth having a little bit of a chat about. Now, these are gym promos that are being given out over in Japan. That is to say, you turn up to a gym challenge tournament thing, and you get a pack, and you get one of these cards in there. So, let's have a start off then with let's go Vampy, right? We might as well start off with this Vampy. I absolutely adore this Vampy. It is redonk. Now, firstly, the artwork here is absolutely stunning. Secondly, it has got that wonderful attack that does 30 damage for each damage counter on it. And I really do believe this is going to be a very, very good deck moving forward. It's certainly, without exaggeration, the deck I am most excited about moving forward. Don't forget, of course, we got that new memory capsule, which is literally just memory energy, but as a tool. So you can use the attacks of pre-evolutions. That is going to want to be used with the new Donphan, which is kind of awesome. Donphan just does 120 for a single energy, and then 20 to all of your bench. But then, of course, bear in mind that you don't mind taking damage on your bench because of the whole Vampy thing. And this is a great Pokemon I'm very excited about, and I do prefer this artwork, incidentally. But we're also getting the Arakuda as an alternate art, which is one I am super excited about as well. Again, I think this art is better than the art in the set. And what's interesting here is that it's a really nice card that for a single energy lets you search for 2 Arakuda and put them straight onto your bench. Why is that an interesting thing? Why is that a good thing? Why are we excited? And the answer very simply is because we've got the Cramorant coming in this set that lets you discard as many Arakuda from your bench as you like, doing 60 damage for each one that is discarded in this way. I.e., you want to fill your bench with Arakuda, and this is a good way to do that early in the game, so that's kind of awesome. And of course, the Barraskewda coming in the set is another one I'm really, really hyped about, because it lets you do 20 damage. Well, it's got Esper's attack, right? It's literally Esper's attack that does 20 damage to a Pokemon for each damage counter on it. It basically trebles the damage on them, except it's for a single energy rather than a super awkward attack cost. Now, to be fair, the art on the other Arakuda was awesome, but I'm afraid once again I do believe this is superior artwork, and I'm kind of loving it. Now, there is also an alternate art Charmander, which we don't need to spend a huge amount of time talking about. It is just an evolving Charmander. The single fire energy draw a card is fine as an emergency attack if you are... I mean, look, if you're playing some kind of Charizard deck and you got nothing to do turn 1, this will work quite nicely. But yeah, it's not something to get too excited about. Once again, I do think the artwork on this is absolutely stunning, so if that's what you're into, that's kind of cool. And there is a straight reprint of the Krokorok from this set. Now, this is another one we have talked about previously because the entire line here has got an attack that discards the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Now, Krokorok does it for free colorless energy, though it is, of course, interesting to note that that is literally a triple acceleration energy, because as a stage 1, you are an evolved Pokemon. So that's really kind of awesome. And like I say, the entire line has got this attack, even up to like your Crocodile, so, you know, this is something that probably should be borne in mind. Again, if you're going to play this deck, this is a really cool version of it to actually go and get. Now, we do have a reprint of Rose here. Rose is a really good card, but it is literally just a straight reprint. And when I say straight reprint, I mean straight reprint. It's all hollowed up, but there isn't even alternate artwork here, which is a little bit sad. And this is just, I mean, it's that really cool card. If you're playing a VMAX, you discard your entire hand, and then you get to attach 2 energy from the discard pile to one of your Pokemon, which is kind of awesome. Also worth pointing out that Rose Tower is a stadium card that will let either player draw until they've got 3 cards in their hand. So clearly, if you're playing Rose Tower is another one that you probably should be considering pretty strongly, if I'm honest with you. It's pretty gosh darn good. Now, well, there is also that Swordbert and Shieldbert card. Now, I did a whole video about this. I'll link that one in the description. But I do adore this card. It's the one that basically says that you ask, or Swordword and Shieldbert. Turns out I did not know what they were actually called before I made this video. And essentially, this is the awesome card whereby you grab a trainer card from your discard pile, you ask your opponent if you can put it in your hand. If they say yes, you do. If they say no, you get to draw 3 cards. So it's kind of best case scenario, you get a hop, which is not a great thing if we're honest. But it's an interesting card. And it's cool. And I love it thematically and I love it in terms of design. But let's be clear, you're not ever actually going to play this in a proper tournament. It's not on the cards, to forgive the pun. Now, there is an Eevee and Jolteon that is being given out in this set, and they are actually extremely important, and I'm sure for a whole bunch of people, it's going to take a bit of explaining. You see, if I showed you this Gardevoir, some of you would not remember what it was, and some of you would go, hang on a second, Wassy, isn't that the Gardevoir that won an art contest in Japan, the prize for which was that it would get printed as an official Pokemon card? And they said that they would consider, though not guarantee, using that person in the future to do artwork on cards. Yes, that is exactly the deal. And this Eevee and Jolteon, and you can see they're clearly a pair of cards art-wise. The Eevee is running away from the Jolteon's electricity. These are actually drawn by that person. So that person who went and won that art contest with Gardevoir has actually gone and been commissioned to do 2 brand new Pokemon cards in terms of this Eevee and this Jolteon, which is such a cool, wonderful story that fills my heart with utter joy. And I do believe these are actually new cards, so please somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Now, neither of them are particularly impressive. The Jolteon for 1 lightning energy, and I translated these with Google Translate, but it seems very clear, and I compared them to old cards, so I feel pretty good. For 1 lightning energy, you just attach a lightning energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon, which, I mean, I've talked about attacks like this before. It's not terrible, but the problem is your opponent is just going to get a free hit after you attach the energy, and that is awkward. Though you do have free retreat, and that is a lovely bonus. Free energy, 160, is not actually bad for a single prize Pokemon. You do 30 to yourself, which with fairly low HP to begin with is, shall we say, not entirely ideal. And honestly, I'd rather have the Zapdos that came around in Vivid Voltage that does 160 to one of your opponent's GX or V Pokemon. It's basically Cramorant, but it only hits GXs and Vs. It's fine as a single prize attacker, but I think Lightning decks have got better options, though don't sleep on the free retreat. As for the Eevee, Eevee's got signs of evolution. But it's not the good kind of signs of evolution. When I started playing the game, there was an Eevee with signs of evolution. And it was, well, actually, no, not when I started. It was in Plasma Freeze. I've been playing for a little while. But that Eevee let you search your deck for 3 Pokemon of different types that evolve from Eevee, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Yay! This will let you search for Pokemon that evolve from Eevee, but it lets you search for 1 Pokemon that evolves from Eevee, which is kind of annoying. That is not as good, ladies and gentlemen. That is not as good. Yeah, I'm sorry. The one that searched for free I really liked. I thought it was good. I could absolutely see an argument for playing it. Quite a strong argument. Not so much this one. 2 energy, 30 damage, flip a coin. If tails, the attack does nothing. I'll be honest with you, it's still not particularly good. I adore the artwork on this Eevee, and I am absolutely delighted that they've used the artist for more cards, and I sincerely hope they do again in the future. But I don't think these are particularly stunning cards, though the Jolteon has got a bit of juice to it. Now, generally speaking, in these cards, there is 1 exclusive Pokemon V that can only be got in here, and it is Hataren V, but of course, this is not terribly exciting. Usually when the new Pokemon V gets revealed, we all get very excited because it's a new Pokemon to talk about and a new Pokemon V and all of that. But we've seen the Hataren V collection, and we know that Hataren V is coming out in that. And since those cards have been added to PTCGO, we now have a nice, clear, high-quality scan of Hataren V. So, yeah. We've talked about this card before. I've done a video about Hataren V. I will link it in the description. For what it's worth, Hataren V is not an amazing card. 200 HP is on the lower end for a Pokemon V. You can drag a Pokemon active and it's confused, which is fine for 1 energy, but expensive at 2. And free energy, 90 damage, 180 if they're confused. But my conclusion, I hope at least, if I'm remembering this correctly, certainly my conclusion as I record this now, 2 psychic, 1 colorless energy for 180 if they're already confused. Not loving it, ladies and gentlemen. Not loving it at all. Do remember, we do have an item card at the moment that will actually confuse both active Pokemon. And that means that you will be able to actually, it's called Yellhorn, you will actually be able to use that to get Hatarene's attack going. But even then, free energy 180 is not stunning. Plus, we've already seen and talked about this card before. But there was a whole bunch of promos kind of chucked out in Japan and here, and there's some good stories. We've got some beautiful alternate artwork of cards that I am proper hyped for. 2 brand new cards, I believe, illustrated by someone who won an art competition. We got the Swordbert and Shieldword. Swordword and Shieldbert? Maybe that's it. So there's cool stuff going on here, and I thought it was time to have a chat. But now it's time to tell me what you think about them. So, you know, let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.